The sound came first, sharp, electric, wrong, cutting through the summer air like a scream that didn't belong to any human throat. In the middle of a busy city street, with traffic frozen and strangers staring, a blind veteran collapsed to his knees as his service dog cried out beside him. The crowd didn't yet know why it was happening, only that something sacred had just been broken in public, and there was no way to undo it. If you believe in kindness, second chances, and standing up for those who can't see the danger coming, take a moment right now to like this video, share it with someone who needs hope, leave a comment, and subscribe to the channel. Stories like this matter because people like this still exist. The veteran's name was Daniel Mercer, though most people in his neighborhood simply called him Sir. He had lost his sight years earlier in a desert half a world away, during a blast that turned daylight into permanent darkness. He came home with a folded flag, a damaged spine, and a silence in his eyes that never quite went away. The world learned how to look at him differently before he ever had the chance to ask for it. Pity came first, then discomfort, then avoidance. Daniel accepted it with the same discipline he had learned in uniform. He adapted. He trained. He endured. What made life possible again was Rex. Rex was a German shepherd with a chest like armor and eyes that never stopped watching. Trained as a K9 for military support before being reassigned as a service animal, Rex became Daniel's shadow, his compass, his warning system, and sometimes his courage. Where Daniel walked, Rex walked first. Where danger existed, Rex felt it before it arrived. Together, they moved through the city every morning, crossing the same streets, passing the same cafes, listening to the same sounds. Routine was safety. Routine was survival. That morning felt no different. The heat was already rising off the asphalt, and the traffic lights hummed softly. Daniel tapped his cane in a practiced rhythm, Rex guiding him with a gentle pull of the harness. They were halfway across an intersection when sirens flared nearby, sudden and loud. Rex stiffened instantly. Daniel felt it through the leash, the tension traveling straight into his chest. The sirens weren't meant for them. A traffic stop had escalated 2 lanes over. But chaos has a way of spilling outward, and fear is contagious. Shouting followed. Someone yelled a command that wasn't meant for Daniel, but he couldn't know that. He froze, unsure whether to move forward or stop. Rex stepped protectively in front of him, doing exactly what he had been trained to do. That's when everything went wrong. An officer, already on edge, saw movement and a large dog. He didn't see the harness clearly. He didn't hear Daniel's calm explanation over the noise. He saw a threat where there wasn't one. The warning came too late, if it came at all. The taser fired, and the crack of electricity tore through the moment like lightning. Daniel's body locked up, muscles seizing as he fell hard to the pavement. His cane skittered away, useless now. Rex yelped as the current caught him too, his powerful frame collapsing beside the men he had sworn, without words, to protect. The street fell into a stunned silence broken only by the whine of police radios and Rex's labored breathing. People screamed. Phones came out. Someone shouted that the man was blind, that the dog was a service animal, but the damage was already done. 7 minutes can feel like a lifetime when pain takes over everything. Daniel lay there, unable to see, unable to move, his heart pounding with confusion and betrayal. Rex tried to crawl closer to him, dragging himself inch by inch, blood staining the pavement beneath his fur. Those 7 minutes would change everything. Daniel had survived explosions, ambushes, and months of rehabilitation without once breaking down in public. But lying helpless in the street, hearing strangers cry out while his partner suffered beside him, something inside him finally cracked. Not anger. Not fear. Something quieter and deeper. Disappointment. The kind that comes when the country you serve forgets who you are. What Northwest one on that street knew was that Daniel wasn't just any veteran. He had been part of a unit that never officially existed, attached to operations so sensitive that records were buried deep. He never spoke about it. He didn't wear medals. But he was remembered. Somewhere far away, his name was still on a list that mattered. A passerby called for medical help. Another recognized the military insignia stitched faintly onto Daniel's old jacket. Someone else noticed Rex's tactical scars and realized this wasn't just a pet. The video spread fast, faster than anyone expected. Within minutes, it reached places the local news never could. 7 minutes after the taser fired, the sound returned, not electric this time, but mechanical and unmistakable. Engines. Heavy ones. The street at both ends filled with vehicles that didn't belong to the city. Matte paint. Military plates. No sirens. Just presence. A convoy rolled in with calm authority and sealed the entire block. Soldiers stepped out, not with raised voices or drawn weapons, but with purpose. A senior officer approached Daniel and knelt beside him, removing his own cap as medics rushed to Rex. The officer didn't need to ask who Daniel was. He already knew. Orders had come down fast, from people who didn't forget their own. The crowd watched in stunned silence as discipline replaced chaos. Rex was stabilized first, lifted with care usually reserved for human casualties. Daniel felt gloved hands steady him, heard voices that carried something he recognized instantly: respect. For the first time since the blast that stole his sight, he felt safe without having to be strong. The officers who had tossed him stood frozen, realization sinking in too late. This wasn't about punishment. It was about truth coming into the open. Statements were taken. Footage was secured. Procedures were reviewed in real time. Not loudly. Not angrily. Just thoroughly. Daniel was taken to a military hospital, Rex by his side. Surgeons worked through the afternoon, repairing what electricity and impact had damaged. Rex survived, though recovery would be slow. Daniel's injuries healed faster, but the invisible ones lingered. In the days that followed, the video sparked something rare. Not just outrage, but reflection. Veterans spoke. Service dog handlers shared their stories. Police departments across the country reviewed training protocols. Some defended. Others admitted fault. Change doesn't come all at once, but sometimes it starts with one unbearable moment caught on camera. Daniel didn't ask for attention. He never had. But when reporters finally found him, he spoke calmly, not of anger, but of understanding. He talked about fear, about mistakes, about how easily good intentions can turn destructive when patience is lost. And he talked about Rex. Always Rex. Weeks later, Daniel walked, or rather, moved, through that same intersection again. This time, the traffic stopped willingly. People watched quietly as Rex, still bearing scars, guided him across. No sirens. No shouting. Just a city learning how to pause. Just before we reach the end of this story, I ask you, please comment below with a single word that describes how this made you feel. Your voice matters more than you know. The truth is, not every wrong is corrected by a convoy. Not every pain is seen in time. But sometimes, when the world witnesses injustice clearly enough, it remembers who it's supposed to be. Daniel never wanted revenge. He wanted recognition, not for himself, but for every person who moves through life trusting that others will see them for who they are. If this story touched your heart, if it made you feel something deep and human, please like this video, share it, and leave a comment. Engagement isn't just numbers, it's how stories like Daniel's continue to be told, remembered, and learned from. And somewhere, every morning, a blind veteran and his K9 still cross the street together, reminding the world that loyalty, once earned, never breaks, even when everything else does.